Are live and nationwide tonight. My name is Travis with Oscar Mike Radio, joined by Michael Geary, founder and executive director of Hellfish Haven. And we are W.A.R, which means we are resilient. And we have a special guest tonight, Michael. I mean, I am pumped. This gentleman came on Oscar Mike Radio 5 or 6 years ago, Air Force veteran, and just all around savage badass. Bill Moore of Project New Hope. Welcome to We Are Resilient.
Yes, thank you very much for having me tonight. It's been a long time.
This is great. I mean, I'm having a great time already. We were talking before the chat got going. Would really appreciate you kind of telling us a little bit about yourself as we get going.
Sure. You let me know. You want me to start?
Please do, sir.
All right. Well, my name is Bill Moore. I grew up in Worcester, Mass. When I graduated high school, I joined the Air Force in 1976. Went through boot camp down at Lackland Air Force Base and then went up to Chanute Air Force Base, Illinois. Became a crash rescue firefighter and then headed over to Rhine-Main Air Base, Frankfurt, Germany, and did 4 years and got out with a service-connected disability and went back to school and ended up getting my associate's degree, bachelor's degree, and master's degree in counseling from Assumption College in Worcester, and worked for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I've had a couple of jobs there when I was working started off with a laborer, and then I worked in DYS, Department of Youth Services, juvenile lockup, and then bounced over to DCF, Department of Children and Families, as a adolescent social worker. And then back in 15 years ago, the VA put me on 100% service connected, and I retired at the ripe age of 50 years old. And 12 years ago, I started Project New Hope, offering free weekend retreats for vets and their families and our Gold Star and Survivor families. And it's been a quick 13 years since I started Project New Hope.
Yeah, because when I talked to you, it was like you were like, yeah, because it's 6 years ago, I think. So you were still getting going and everything. It's gone like that.
That quick, yeah.
And when people think about veterans in Massachusetts, a lot of times they think about the Boston area. We really don't think about, or South Shore or Cape. What is it about Middle Massachusetts? Because it's almost like the state changes a little bit when you get out that far west, outside the Boston corridor. What's it like out there servicing veterans?
It's in Central Mass. I mean, we're the second largest city in New England, Worcester, and they would always say there's nothing west of 495. And we say there's nothing west of 290 because we have an office out in Westfield, Mass, and they're just starting to get. There's a lot of veterans out there and stuff. And there's a lot in Central Mass. We have the Vietnam Veterans Memorial here in Green Hill Park and the Korean War Memorial and stuff, and just a lot of vets being out there. So it's, we just started this nonprofit, and I started it out of my home, and the thing took off. And about a year later, I rented some office space, and this is where I currently am. I have two offices here in Worcester, one for our administrative side of it, and then the other where I'm recording this with you guys is our food pantry. We got a food and baby pantry out of Worcester, and we also have an office up in Westfield. And besides the retreat, which is our mission, we have a food pantry where we have two groups of veterans coming in. The first group comes in the first Saturday of every month, and then the next group comes in the third Saturday. And we're averaging about 110 veterans per Saturday coming in here. And
Really?
yeah, it's the need is you got to figure. With a lot of our older veterans here, with the inflation so high, I mean, you guys have been shopping. You see what the price is, what you used to get, and what you're getting now. And of course, electricity is high, and oil and gas and all that and stuff. And then we also have the baby pantry. We carry formula. We carry baby wipes, a variety of diapers. We have Carter's children's clothes. They've been a corporate donor of ours for at least 10 years. And we get all brand new children's coats, winter coats, summer stuff. The girls are just down there in the baby pantry today, getting ready to switch the bins over from winter to the spring stuff coming out now, Easter stuff, and so any veterans, I know you'll put my link up later, but they can go right onto our website or our Facebook page and see what we have to offer there.
Well, I'm gonna put the website in there right now. We're talking with Bill Moore, U.S. Air Force veteran from Project New Hope, and thank him for coming on and talking with us tonight. Um, I've been doing this a while. A lot of nonprofits get started and come and go, but you've had some longevity doing this. How do you? What's been your? I don't know. I don't want to say secret, but what's been your key to being able to serve veterans in the area you're in for this long, Bill?
It's a lot. I think being proactive. I mean, we have a good team in place here. My wife started this with me when I retired. My wife had open heart surgery, and so she was disabled, and she got involved, with the vets here. And I had a daughter, Erin. She joined the Air Force, went into the intel field for 6 years. She was stationed down at Cape Cod, down at Otis. I call it Otis. It's now under the Coast Guard control. Um, but Erin did 6 years, and it's just my way of giving back because I retired at age 50, and I think my wife was kind of horrified at that thought. Well, it was I was working full time for the Commonwealth of Mass, and then I was working 2 part-time jobs. I was a adolescent therapist working with Arbor Counseling, and then I worked part-time with the Seven Hills Foundation, working with the mentally ill. And then all of a sudden, I'm retired, and at 50 here, what am I going to do with myself? And she said, "Oh, I can see you now. You'll be up the post. You'll be doing this. You'll be doing that." But that wasn't true. Of course, when I had the children, they all got their own homes. "Hey, Dad, can you go over here? Dad, can you go over here do my lawn? Hey, can you pick up the kids or whatever?" So I just stayed busy with that, and then I had a master's degree in counseling and a background in helping veterans here. It's just my way of I was serving in the military. I'm still serving now in the civilian capacity here, and of course, I joined the Masons, and I joined the Shriners, and I joined the Rotary Club, and I joined the Lions Club. I was just trying to stay busy here because you have to stay busy. It sounds great when we say, "Oh, geez, I'm ready to retire," and then you retire. I mean, that lasts for maybe a year or so. You're farting around and stuff, but you got to get active because you end up putting on weight here, and you end up you don't need it. It's not healthy. So just being proactive, and we're very active on social media, just posting a lot like what we're doing because I want our donors to know what we're doing out there, and we help out. We with the food pantry here, we get a lot of donations. So I see my buddy Matt. He's
Yeah.
the director up at Quinsigamond Community College, the veterans director, and Matt will come down here on Fridays, and we fill him up with non-perishables or whatever we got here, and he brings them back up to the college for their veterans food pantry they have in his office there. So we try to give back that way there. We're very we give stuff out to Westover Air Reserve Base, the 104th Fighter Wing, Hanscom Air Force Base. We help out where we can, and it's all about awareness because we can't do what we're doing. We got to partner with our other organizations, and Matt's been a great advocate, and also Matt's on the board for Clear Path up at Fort Devens. So we're a close knit community as veterans. We're pretty much all interlocked with one another here, and one organization can't do everything, so you got to partner with other organizations out there. So I think that's just the secret, to stay active, and we post a lot like what we're doing and stuff, and what we have to offer and stuff, and there's a lot of options, a lot more options out there than when I got out of service in 1980. It's almost, we had the veterans prior to us, they paved the road up to, like I say, at this point. Now I'm paving the road up to here. Now it's the younger guys that and women that have to pave the road to keep it going. And what I'm always promoting, I'm also the commander of the Vernon Hill American Legion Post. And my message here is that the veterans from 9/11 on, they need to join the DAV. They got to join the American Legion. They got to join what I say, the Disabled Vets, the Legion, and the VFW. you need to join these organizations because, we're 65 now. I'm 65. We're getting up there. What happens when you're our age, these young veterans from 9/11 on here, when they start taking our benefits away and there's nobody advocating in Washington for our benefits? You're only going to have yourself to blame here. So my message is to get out there and join these organizations here because, we're strong when we're all together.
It's funny you mentioned that because I'm watching this event in Canada, similar to the House of Representatives and the Senate meeting together, and the Prime Minister had gone through and said, you know what, we're gonna roll back some of these veterans benefits. We're not gonna fund them anymore. And these senators, for lack of a better term, are saying, hey, these guys need our help. They served our country. What's going on there? And with a stroke of a pen, that was gone. And I don't think, to your point, a lot of people see how easy that is, or it can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like I always say, it's not the post when my dad belonged there after the Korean War. As the commander, what I'm trying to do is get involved. It's not just about us veterans here. It's about getting our spouses and having programs in the Legion, the VFW, DAV for our children as well. And we're starting to see the organization, including I call it wraparound services, wrap the whole family around together. And we have activities at the post there and try to introduce that to bring these younger members in. But they're a little hesitant. And then, of course, we do the yellow ribbons in the state. When the pre and post mobilizations and stuff, we're out there at the bases and doing that stuff. But
No, Bill. I was a past commander in Post 93 Foxborough American Legion, and I had a lot of trouble when I was commander with the trustees, like not wanting to change in the ways that they had, and we wound up eventually losing our building because of it.
yeah, it's I see that with some other organizations where the old timers in these posts and stuff, they feel like it's their money, like it's like don't touch that money there. Well, it's there to help out our fellow brother and sister veterans here, and a lot of people they got the tunnel vision. They don't want to change. They like the system how it's going, but there's a lot of posts that are closing up because one, they don't have the membership. They don't have the people are not signing up to support. It's almost like the churches. You see the churches, they're shutting these churches down. Well, as an Irish Catholic growing up on Grafton Hill in Worcester, my parents used to, excuse me, bring us to church every Sunday and stuff, and you'd be supporting the church there. And then when the diocese says, well, we're shutting down the church because there's not enough participation, we can't support it, everybody's up in arms. Why are you closing the church? Blah, blah, blah. It's too late then. And the same thing is going to happen with the VFW, the American Legion, the DAV, these posts here. And that's why I emphasize we got to support these organizations. They've been there since our fathers and our grandfathers have been there. And we got to support it because once we're gone and these posts start closing up, you'll have nobody fighting for you. Like Mike just said here. I mean, Travis just said here, it's over and it's too late then. So, yeah, I think we've had some roadblocks there, but I mean, I think they're starting to open up to change and seeing what we're doing. Change is hard, when you're used to doing the same thing over and over and over. And a lot of our veterans are, they're old. World War II. There's not too many of them left here, and now you got the Korean War vets and stuff. I'm a peacetime vet. I was in 76 to 80. I'm 65 now. I mean, I'm like, where the hell did the time go?
Yeah, I definitely see like it's usually about a 10-year time between somebody leaving the service and they start getting active with the the veteran service organizations.
Right.
And I definitely encourage guys to when they do get out of the service connect then, like don't wait the 10 years. You're welcome to join these organizations as soon as you get your 214 in hand.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Matthew says go ahead, Mike.
Because we need that lobbying, the lobbying that the Legion, the DAV, the Paralyzed Veterans of America, the Legion, and the VFW all do down in Washington is immeasurable. Like they are the ones that made the Push the Pact Act.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's my PSA for the American Legion and the VFW and the DAV. But even if they sign up there, I think our dues is $40 a year. But you get a lot of benefits with that, and and of course I signed up all my son and my grandchildren when they were all born. I signed them all up for Sons of the American Legion. So, just get involved here and support your local post and stuff. But
So Project New Hope, you know, before the meeting, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the amount of things you have going on just with the pantry and the clothing there, but also the retreats was just amazing. Now, how did you get all this stuff going or think to do all this stuff?
a vet with PTS, my brain was always going. And, when I was working for the state, I was still active in like the American Legion, the DAV and stuff. And so I was always looking as a social worker at the time because I'd come across veterans that were involved with DCF and stuff and trying to get services in place. And then when I was getting ready to retire here, then I started, online. I'm looking for stuff here, and then I came across a Project New Hope out in where was it, Wisconsin or something. And I reached out to the gentleman out there. I think his name was Bruce Billington, and I flew out there and I attended one of their retreats. And he says, "Why don't you start one in Massachusetts? Go get your own 501c3." And so I came back and I reached out to a Gold Star mother living in Worcester, Tracy Valancourt, and her only child, Brian Moquin, was killed in Afghanistan. And Tracy gave me $5,000 from Brian's death gratuity money and says, "Billy, why don't you go get your 501c3?" She says, "I believe in this Project New Hope for our men and women that are still serving." And that's it. We've never looked back. And, just started offering those weekend. I wasn't book smart. I had people, we hired an organization to write our articles in corporation, do everything the right way, got our 501c3, and then just started. I never had a problem asking. If you don't ask, you don't get. And started getting a lot of resources and just started putting that stuff back out into the community. And what we try to do with Project New Hope is we're a good partner. I mean, we take care of our veterans first, our active duty military, National Guard, Reserve, and veterans and their families. And then if there's anything left over in my organization, I put it back out into my community. We donate it to Catholic Charities, the United Way. We donate it to church groups, neighborhood centers. And, we're working together here because, we have a lot of veterans that come through those other organizations. And so that's what we've been doing. And we got great volunteers. Of course, my wife is, she's doing the baby stuff, and she's doing the retreat. We got our first retreat this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up in Westfield, Mass.
Yeah, tell me about that. I mean,
Yeah. So what we wanted to do was offer a combat women veterans retreat. So any female veterans that deployed over to a war zone, we wanted to do a retreat targeting them, working on them. And it's good. We got about 13 female veterans coming up this weekend. We usually have, maybe 15, 20 more, but, we're just coming out of the pandemic here. I think people are still a little hesitant. So we're focusing all about, women's issues and, what's going on with them. And we're very big into the wellness. We have yoga and acupuncture and reflexology and Reiki and massage and just a whole host of different things going on. We got
well,
W.A.R.
so you get these people. You've done retreats before,
Yes.
and you get these people in the retreat. What's the feedback, or are you actually there when the retreat's going on? Let me ask that noob question.
I haven't missed a retreat in 12 years.
Okay, so yes, you have.
And
So
if you go on our website and you click on the retreats,
I'm gonna post the link right now.
all the retreats will come up. And then you look at past retreats, you can click on that and it will show you pictures of that retreat and testimonials from the veterans that attended those retreats. And we do that like that after action report. We take the testimonials from the veterans. We do a pre and a post survey, what they're getting out of it here. And so it's been pretty successful. And it's, and I think one of the things that help as a veteran myself, you kind of break down any barrier because as veterans, we're going to always connect. And I think maybe in my case here, as veterans, I'm not maybe forthcoming with my wife. I keep a lot of stuff inside, but I would talk to you, Travis, before I would talk to my life partner. And I think that's true for a lot of us veterans here, because I think it's that camaraderie between one another here. But then we have our spouses out there, and they're the ones that they're living with us, and they can't figure us out, and they can't do it anymore. And then they come to one of our retreats, and now they connect with other spouses going through the same thing that they're going through, because we're going to connect with one another. I mean, we'll razz on each other, different branches of the services, all that. But, one fight, where, you say something about one of us, we're all there together. And what's great about it is seeing the spouses connect with one another, and that's powerful. There's a lot of healing going on right there. And then, of course, when we do our family retreats, you got the kids, and then, of course, the kids are all bonded with one another, and they just so it's I think that's what's working. And but we've done we do women veterans retreats, and then we're doing we do family retreats, and different any topic that veteran would go through, PTSD, TBI stuff. We've been doing the retreats for about 12 years now.
Matthew says, very excited to go on one with my family, and in June, the first time, and it's long overdue. So you have these retreats, and then what happens when the veteran leaves? Do you ever hear from them again? I mean, do you see the change the retreat brings to their lives?
Yeah, I see a lot of them. A lot of them sign up for our social media. Like I said, we're very active on social media, so we'll post stuff up there, and we'll see people liking stuff. They might not. Some will send a message, or like Matt's. We can't wait to have Matt up there at Old Orchard Beach, Maine, for our family retreat, about 2.5 blocks from the ocean, and that's we're at capacity for that retreat. We have a waiting list, but yeah, it's just I just think it's a lot of healing going on, and it's working. And I alluded to you, Travis, before we went on the air here. If they tune in, they sign up for our newsletter on our website, they go to the contact tab and put in their name and email and stuff. We have a newsletter that comes out on the first of every month, and it's also, you can find it on our website, past issues. We're going to be hosting a brand new retreat in October. And I don't want to let it out of the bag. It's totally different than anything we've ever offered. It's brand new what we're bringing here to the New England area in Massachusetts. And it's for male veterans. And we can only take 10 veterans for this type of retreat. And I'm going to leave it at that. So next week, when the newsletter comes out, we'll be introducing this new retreat that we're doing. And I'll just leave it at that.
I definitely support that newsletter as well. I get it in my email inbox every month, and there's always some information that I take out of it. So I appreciate what you guys do there, Bill.
Thank you. So let me just get on my phone here. So that retreat we're doing, and then that's up in March. Next weekend we're going to be up in Westfield. That's where we're doing that retreat. And then in April we're going to be back down in Groton, Mass, right off of 495. And we're doing a Phoenix Tales storytelling retreat for veterans. So any veterans that maybe want to put their story or talk about it and put it on paper, this retreat's going to focus on getting those emotions out of here and almost like journaling, and put it down there, and then get to speak maybe like 2 or 3 minutes, I believe, that tell your story. And so that's brand new that we're offering, and that registration is still open, and they can just go to our website and click on retreats and sign up for that one. And then we're going to be the family retreat. We're going to be up at Old Orchard Beach, Maine, in June 25th to 30th. That's a week-long retreat, and we're filled to capacity. We put that up there. I think that thing filled up in about 2 weeks. And then after that, we take a break from May, June, August 20th through the 25th is another week-long retreat. And that one is down in Connecticut, down by Mohegan, Foxwoods. It's on that area there. And the gentleman teaching this class, his name is Ceylon Green. He was a Marine fighter pilot, #1 in his class, Top Gun. And he was involved in a jet crash. When they ejected out, his wingman got killed Ceylon broke his back, and other major issues there. And of course, he was being med boarded out. And here you are, you're in the top of your class, fighter pilot. This is your career, and all of a sudden now your career is over, and they're med boarding you out. Of course, he got hooked on the opiates down in San Antonio. I think he said he was down there at that hospital. I forgot the name of the hospital. It's been a long time since I've been down there. And he sold all his possessions, and he got a motorcycle, and he was riding around out there, and suicidal, drinking, popping the medication. And then he met his wife out there, and she jumped on the back of the motorcycle, and they went touring around, and they're married now. They have 9 children, and they live in Indiana, and they're all homeschooled. And I said, Ceylon, I can see why you're always on the road doing retreats.
That's a
And, so I invited Ceylon. I said, Ceylon, please bring your wife and your 9 children. And he brought the family up to Old Orchard, where we did our family retreat this year. And wonderful kids, wonderful kids, from little ones all the way up to they're in college. And the wife was just a little petite woman. And I said, ma'am, can I just ask you a question? She says, sure. I says, did you give birth to all these children, 9 kids? She says, I did. And she says, I'm homeschooling all of them. I was like, wow. I mean, that's dedication there. But
it's a lot of patience.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy. And if you have any PTS, it's a couples retreat. And, if you want any veterans out there that are listening to this and you want to come and bring your wife or your significant other with you, this is an excellent retreat. He's incredible. And then after that one, we're going to be in September 29th to October 1st. We're going to be down in North Situate, Rhode Island, and we're going to do a veterans equine retreat. So if you like the horses and stuff, this would be the treat for you. We haven't been in Rhode Island in probably 9 years since we've done a retreat down there. And then we got one more after that in October. That's the special new retreat we're launching, and that will be in the newsletter next week.
Michael, I'm listening to Bill, and one thing that strikes me is I don't know about you, but I don't often hear that the wife or spouse is really serviced as well. If I'm saying that right, but in other words, Michael, do you know of other orgs that put as much emphasis on the spouse as, say, like what I'm hearing tonight?
No, it's definitely a change that we've been seeing lately, even with the VA with their mission change last week to be for the service members, the families, and the survivors. They changed their mission statement there so that way it included everybody. And what I see with Project New Hope in inviting the spouses and having the family, it really shows the care for the whole health of the veteran versus just because that veteran, we're not doing it alone. We've got our spouses at home, we've got our children. It's all part of the healing process. Is everybody, and I'm just very grateful that Project New Hope is out there doing that.
Yeah, it's very important that we saw that from the start when I started this, and I'd be lost without my wife. I've been married now 39 years. Where did that time go? And
39 years?
39 years. Can you believe it? Holy mother of mercy. I think I'm looking pretty good. I tell her all the time how young I look here. And but I'd be lost without her. And you got to figure when everybody deployed for post 9/11 here, all these deployments and stuff, they're back home, whether it's the male or the female spouse here, and they're taking care of the children in the home front. We can't do what we're doing if the home front is not in good order back here. So that's why we're very inclusive of the whole family, the wraparound services, and having the spouses come here because they got their needs too. And, they're probably struggling with a lot of things. I mean, I probably wasn't the easiest person to live with, with my PTS. And now having the grandchildren, it's almost like I got a second chance here to maybe be a better father than maybe I was to my own children, or because I was just telling Travis, I says, I think I should have had the grandchildren first and then had my children. And because the grandkids are fantastic and stuff, but I got wonderful children and stuff. But I think it's very important to even bring the children to these retreats or offer retreats like the family retreat and have everybody come up there. And so I'm really looking forward to the workshops we're going to be offering there, not just for mom and dad, but we also got some workshops for the children. Then we're going out. They got the swimming pool there, 2.5 blocks up. They got the ocean is there, and then you go maybe a 15-minute walk. You're up at the pier at Old Orchard. We're renting out a boat. We're going out for a harbor cruise, I think, for 2.5 hours. We do, so we do a variety of different things, and I think it's very important to bring the family together because they're struggling too. And what we found is it's a lot of the spouses that are online looking for organizations or retreats like myself, and there's others in New Mexico and California, in different places there. So really, it's the spouses that are out there looking. They need the help, and probably coming to the veteran and say, "Listen, we need to do this. If we don't do this here, then we're going to lose our marriage. So we're going to, you're going to lose the children and stuff." And I don't think any of us want to do that. And yeah, so that's what's working. I think it's it's doing pretty good.
And now, how do you guys
I'm
decide
still
where you're
getting,
going to go?
I'm still blasted by 39 years, Bill. So Michael,
Yeah.
take that away while I kind of internalize that.
Well, Travis, if you want to do something crazy, Bill got married when I was 1. Because I'm 39,
Thank
and I'll be 40 in the end of the year.
Yeah,
so
that's encouraging.
my whole life is your marriage.
Yeah.
And but Bill, I just wanted to ask, like, how do you guys choose where these retreats are? Like, did you guys have these companies contact you? Do you guys reach out?
No,
how is that connection made?
it's pretty much me. It's pretty much me. Like this year here, I wanted to. We got a great partnership. We've been with the Grotonwood, and then that's in Groton, Mass, and then Oceanwood is their sister camp up in Old Orchard. And the reason they've been with me for about I want to say 11, 12 years. What I was looking for is a lot of us men and women that serve in the military, we're struggling with alcohol or substance use. And so I didn't want to offer my retreats like rent out a hotel, because what's in a hotel? There's a bar. And
At a bar. Yep.
and if if we're at this retreat and we get triggered over something, we're going downstairs to the bar and we're going to start drinking. And I didn't want to do that, because it's about, I'm trying to save marriages. I'm trying to get them to work together and to communicate better, because it affects the children as well, and they see everything and they hear everything. And so that's why I pick out these retreats here. So they've been very good to us. The American Baptist Church in Massachusetts, they started a scholarship fund for us. So if we came up short on money to host a retreat, they would give us, they had a scholarship fund where they could help us pay the rest of the retreat. So I'm very loyal. When I started this, where I didn't have a lot of resources, I always say I'm not book smart, I was street smart. But they've been very good partners to us, and I'm very loyal to that organization for what they did for us. But so this year, what I wanted to do is I reached out to their other camps from the American Baptist Church, and that's how I went to. We're going to Old Orchard up in Westfield. I'm with the Diocese of Westfield. I think it's the Catholic Church up there. They have like this. It used to be a facility for unwed mothers. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. And then we're going to be going down to another camp, which down in Connecticut. That's another camp there. And then we're doing the one down in Rhode Island. It's another Baptist camp there, because they got, it's like the Boys and Girls Club and the Boy Scouts. They got these beautiful camps on lakefront property, and acres and acres of land where you can go hiking and ride your bikes. And that's what I want. That's the environment I want, because I want the veterans to spend time together, go for a walk in the woods, get down to the boat ramp, go out on the pontoon boat, kayaking and canoeing, to start doing things together. I'll tell you a funny story. It's just my wife and I went to Florida. We stayed down, rented a house in Venice, Florida. And we went down to Venice, and oh God, the weather was beautiful. So it's just Donna and I, and we went shopping. We got our groceries, and we're cooking on the grill. I says, Donna, when's the last time you and I actually sat down at a table and had dinner together? Because I get so busy with my nonprofit, and she's doing her thing. We never did that. And here we are eating together. We enjoyed it. And then we were at the Allegiant Post, and the organization that I'm partnering with, they were offering yoga. And we've never done yoga. I said, let's go try yoga. I mean, my body don't bend like it used to bend. But, I noticed I did a couple of the sessions. They did it every Tuesday, and it was wonderful. And I just got some space right next door to me that they have a dance studio next door to my office. And I spoke with the owners over there, and they're going to donate the space to me to offer yoga every week. And that's going to be starting a couple of weeks.
Are you going to do yoga then, Bill?
Absolutely, but I'm not going to have any leotards on, so there'll be no pictures of that. All right.
No, I was going to say, Michael, it might be worth the drive to come out there just to do yoga with Bill.
There you go. Come on out. It's open to the service member and veterans and their spouses, and so I'm really looking forward to that. And then we did bingo together. We were down at the pier. The sunsets down there are incredible. And then here we are. We're sitting in a car at a canal, waiting for the dolphins to come by. And I'm saying, Donnie, look at us. I says, we were so relaxed. We were engaged with one another, and I think that's what's important. Is we get so busy in our minds and there's stuff going on that we don't focus on one another and our families and stuff. So I talk about this. It's easy for me to talk about it here on this platform at our retreats here, because we all make mistakes. I've said and done things that I wish I could take back. Nobody's perfect, and but I see now as I'm getting older here, and especially getting away with my wife for a month here, just her and I. It was wonderful to reconnect here. So we've been doing bingo at the Elks down the street here in Auburn. We went and did bingo, and of course now my kids are coming and my nieces and nephews. So there's like a group of us going down. So yeah, it's all good, Mike. It's all good.
And now, while all these retreats are going on, is the food pantry still open? Like on the weekends for that?
They are. We have a group that comes in. What we do is we have an order form, and they order the food that we're carrying in our food bank. So they pick the food that they want, and then we have the freezers full of meat and stuff that we get donated from our other corporate sponsors. We have a farm, Cooper's Hilltop Farm in Worcester, Mass. They donate the fresh milk to us for our 2 food pantries. Lilac Hedge Farm up in Rutland, they donate the fresh farm eggs, and then come the spring here when they start growing, they'll be donating the produce and things like that. It's hard keeping up with the demand. We're doing it. Our office up in Westfield, Mass, we're linked into the food bank up there, so we're able to get some food, and then the extra stuff we get down here in Worcester, we complement the food pantry up there. But things are very expensive. The food that we're buying, we're not into the food bank, the Worcester County Food Bank. We can't get in there. They said there was enough food pantries in the area, and so we can't get in there. So we're buying all our own food. We go to Wegmans has been good to us, Price Chopper, Stop and Shop, and the Legion Riders. The Legion Riders in Central Mass, the Vernon Hill Post and the Webster Post, they've been fantastic. They've been doing food drives for us. I just saw them when I was pulling in here that they were doing a condiments. So they went and got all the condiments for our food pantry because we were running out. So we have organizations that donate money to us, and then our food pantry manager, she goes and when the stuff's on sale, she buys in bulk. So yeah, we still have that. We have it both in Worcester and Westfield. And Worcester, we're doing about maybe 250 a month, and my Westfield office is probably up around 500 or 600 a month.
So I remember this from the last time I was out there talking with you. Westfield's like an hour further west than Worcester. What's it like trying to manage the 2 locations and make sure? I mean, it must be challenging, especially in these times, to meet the need in 2 different locations and logistically make sure everything is working right.
Yeah, it's very hard with this the COVID here, because when COVID happened, of course, we had to shut down our retreats because we couldn't rent out the facilities and stuff. So we kind of pivoted and we increased our food and baby pantry, and so we were trying to get help. Nobody wants to work. And of course now the wages are going up. They're going up from the minimum wage. Now people are not accepting minimum wage. They want, $17, $18, $19 an hour. Well, we're a small nonprofit. That's, we got some paid employees. And I think we got about eight or 9 paid employees. but that's a big chunk they take out of your budget here. You're raising money here for the retreats and the food pantry. Now you got paid staff where we used to do it all volunteers, but it's a change in the times. We can't keep that pace going. My wife and I, we've been doing it for 13 years, and we're very conscious that a lot of people, our board of directors, are all still working full-time jobs, and they got young families. So we made the decision we got to start putting on some part-time staff here, but it's expensive. And what happened with Westfield is, I needed somebody up there, so I reached out to my buddy Dan from he was with the Fire and Iron Motorcycle Club, and he's a retired Holyoke firefighter. And I said, Dan, I need some help up here in my Westfield office, and he lives right around the area. So he started coming in, and now he's on our payroll. And then another friend of mine's he retired from Westover Air Reserve Base, and I reached out. I says, anybody looking for part-time work? He said, my daughter's looking for work. So we got two great staff up there now. They're working no more than 20 or 21 hours a week, and they just keep the gears. They're doing an incredible job up there. And then down here in Worcester, we got paid staff running our food pantry and the retreats. We got a retreat host now, and so yeah, things get more expensive. But we got a grant writer that is helping us with grants. We have different organizations like the Lions and the Masons and the women's clubs and stuff. They'll donate money to us or do food drives for us, and so that's how we keep it going. We couldn't do it without our community, and they give a lot back to us, and we appreciate it. We try to be a good steward and put our extra stuff back into the community.
So one thing, Michael, that you continually tell people, and you've told me, is a lot of places need that relationships to be successful, to be effective. I mean, you on your website have a list of sister or donor organizations or supporting organizations. I mean, Bill talks about that. I mean, do you think that's something that a lot of people miss, not only in veteran nonprofit work, but in nonprofit work in general, the value of relationships?
The collaboration is so important because, like Bill said, we're all just taking a little piece of the help that these veterans need, and we're serving certain groups of veterans because not every veteran is the same, and so each need of the veteran is so different that you do need to collaborate, whether it's with an organization that's doing stuff more for TBI, or an organization that's working on relationship help, or organizations that are working with spouses and kids. Each organization has a different part they do, but the greater collaborative is so important. Like we're in Boston, we're part of the Greater Boston Veterans Collaborative, and they have once a month a meeting virtually. They used to do it in person before COVID, but now it's just virtual. And we have these meetings and we talk about what the needs are going on and share resources. Like I'm able to go on to Slack and I had a veteran that was looking for help with starting up a 501c3 and needed a lawyer support. So I asked the question to the community, and the community was able to give me the answer and to get that veteran a contact with a lawyer that works on 501 C3s and was able to review his work with them.
Yeah, Mike, that's we participated in that Boston Collaborate, and we also have one in Central Mass where it's all the veterans organizations and businesses that support us. We do that with Billy Ryan and Mike Hess out of Workforce Central here, and then of course we have one, The Voice, up in Western Mass, that our office staff participates in up there. So those are good collaborations where you can get the feel of what's going on, because and that's great. They they'll send something out on the through the group text there and saying, hey, I have a veteran that needs this, or this one needs a roof here, or they got a water leak here, and that resource is fantastic.
It's just so good to have like the other organizations that are around, because it's true. You run into an issue or you have a veteran come in and you want to be able to help them, and it's just we can't cover everything, and there's so many different areas that the veteran could need help in, that it's good to have those such services, whether it's somebody that knows an auto parts
Right.
repair shop,
Yeah, absolutely.
a place that'll help a veteran in need.
Besides this, we do a coffee social every Tuesday. We started that over a year ago, and we got veterans from World War II to the current conflict coming for that coffee social, and they all got their favorite seat here, and Diane, who works my office there, she's an incredible baker. So she's spoiling these guys with muffin and homemade fudge and this and that.
What?
Oh yeah, I mean it's that fudge was so rich that my teeth were tingling. It was like I should gotta tone that down a little bit for me. But she's an incredible, and which is really great. So they come in here, the camaraderie with one another, and then we have Will Valera there, retired Army. He's the VSO in Reading, Mass. And Will comes out here with another veteran. I'll get killed here. I forgot his name here. I can picture him, but they come out and they do claims in my office the second and fourth Saturday of every month. And Will is with the Vietnam Veterans of America, a National Service Officer. So they come out to do that. So we're trying to, we're getting back to doing reflexology and yoga and acupuncture stuff back into our office. So we offer it at the retreats. We want to put it now with COVID hopefully behind us. We can start offering those things inside our office here. Another big thing we do is we do the backpacks full of school supplies every August. The Dollar Tree stores in Worcester, I have all of them, and I pick up all the donated school supplies, and then we purchase the backpacks and we fill those up. And so we give a little hand up to the families that are struggling, that maybe can't afford a brand new backpack for their child, and fill it up with all the school supplies. So that's very successful. And I want to thank Dollar Tree for having that program over the years here, because it's helped out a lot of military and veteran families. And the other one we do is called Christmas time. It's called Operations Jeepers Christmas. And we have a lot of donors. People say, well, we're not going to buy gifts for our colleagues in our office here. What they do is we have the veterans will sign up on our website for Operation Jeepers Christmas, and they put down their name and the spouse's name. We don't release that to the donors, and then the children's wish list. And then we'll assign that. We'll say family number one, a mom, a dad, or maybe just a mom or just a dad, and the two children. And this is their wish list. And our donors go out and they shop for those families, and they wrap the gifts and they drop them off here. And then we had Santa Claus down here, and the elves dressed up, and we were handing all the Christmas gifts. And I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, we did 250 families that were adopted through our Operations Jeepers Christmas program. And it was up over 360 children. And Matt's wife was on here, and she works for a company, and they came in and they adopted a bunch of children, and it's a great program, and that just keeps growing and growing. So those are some of the other things that we do besides the retreat and the food and the baby pantry, the Christmas program, coffee social. Now we're going to start doing yoga down here, and so.
Well, again, we kind of talked about it earlier about helping the spouse out, but I think that's one thing that I think about it, but don't think about it, that you can't really help you can help the veteran, but if you're not helping his wife, right, or her husband, spouse, mm-hmm, or the children of that family, then there's going to still be conflict and strife and problems, because one's gained support and the other parts of the whole are not, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I was just reading the Jimmy James. Thanks for your comments. I'm just trying to look up over here, looking at the
take a minute and take a look.
And, Barry, you're right. There's a lot of organizations looking for the same money and stuff. It's and that's why we're so active on social media, or what we're doing with the donations we're getting. And I'm always posting. We're receiving this, and this is where it's going. And so it's. But thank you guys, everybody. Mary Ellen, Matt's wife. Her company was incredible. They stepped up. They helped us out with the Jeepers Christmas. Matt and his wife was in here stuffing school bags full of school supplies. So we couldn't do it without our community, our business community. That's where it's going. I think it's all about developing those relationships, and they know what we're doing. And myself and all my board of directors and my planning board, we're all volunteers. I don't draw a salary, and I don't know how many other organizations out there that their CEO and their board, they're not drawing some type of compensation and stuff. But it's just my way of giving back, and it's therapeutic for me, because I learn something new every time I go, and I love meeting men and women coming in from all over the United States to these retreats. It's not just here in Massachusetts and New England. we got them from New Mexico and California and Puerto Rico and Wisconsin and Walter Reed. They came in, they drove in for a weekend retreat and headed home. And, they're taking the train from the North Station and we're picking them up at the train station up at Old Orchard and vice versa here at Fort Devens when we do the retreat in Groton. They take the train up, we'll work out, or they'll take an Uber or something over to the retreat facility. So, we're going pretty good.
Yeah, Jimmy's from Colorado, Bill, and he checks in on these and Oscar Mike Radio a whole lot, and we're just happy to that the message is getting out there. We got like 10 minutes left. We thought maybe you'd be on for a half hour, but we got going. We're having fun. That's how this goes. Michael, any thoughts as we kind of start winding this down?
Just one thing I want to make sure that you guys were tracking, Bill, is the Staff Sergeant Fox grant that is coming up again this year. Last year it was finished by May. This year again, the deadline is May. To file for that, it's a suicide prevention from the VA. Staff Sergeant Fox committed suicide at a VA facility, and they named the grant after him. It's I want to say it was $700 million to begin, and then as grants come in and get approved, that fund will go down. But that was approved last year, so just make sure that you guys are applying for that. Because that's a really good one. I think your programs definitely fit the definition of that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Mary Ellen says it's always happy to help Project New Hope. And I was asking her what company, you said her company supports what you do. I'm just curious.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here trying to remember what company it was. So that's
all right. So that's two of us. That's two of us.
We'll see if Mary Ellen responds and lets us know.
All right.
It's on a tip. You know what? I think it's Quest Pharmaceutical, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. We'll let her confirm that. She's still on there. Quest Diagnostics.
The old guy still got it.
I'm telling you, Bill, you're on it tonight.
All right. I ain't got that Alzheimer's yet. All right. Thank God. Thanks, Mary Ellen.
I think this is the best part, Michael, about doing these, We Are Resilient sessions is, I do my podcast and you have your thing you do at Hellfish Haven and bringing veterans in. We kind of work together, but you just learn so much from having somebody live talking with you. I really, I don't think I could go to a college class, get the same kind of education.
It is. It's more like for me, like I'm only in my second year as a nonprofit. So for me, it's good to hear stuff from Bill and the longevity that Project New Hope has had, knowing that, it is available and you can succeed in this and, continue to grow and reach out to these veterans. And, as you grow, your mission kind of, evolves to fit the need of the veterans.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. I just want to mention Jimmy. Excuse me, Jimmy James up there. I kept leaning forward here, looking at your photo there. I have a good friend in the next town over in Auburn, Mass, and he's an Auburn police officer, and he goes by Jimmy James too. That's his alias, and I'm like, is that Jimmy from Auburn on there? I can't see, but welcome from Colorado.
Absolutely. Bill, just last thing, how can people help out Project New Hope? What's the best way to do that?
Well, the best way is, they can go on to, like any organization, one of the viewers said, is they can make a donation to Project New Hope, and they can go to our website, projectnewhopema.org, and just hit the donate button. Locally, if they wanted to do a food drive for us and, do a food drive and drop off food. I gave Travis a flyer, but if you go on our website or Facebook, anything we put out on Facebook goes out to all our social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. It goes all out. The newsletter will go out on all that as well. Volunteers. We're always looking for volunteers. We got a couple of schools from the Worcester here that they're bringing some school children here. I think they're in middle school, high school, and they're coming and they're helping us stock the shelves, take out the cardboard boxes, and they've been very, very helpful. We got the Boy Scouts, they're going for their Eagle Scouts, and they're doing a project. They raise donations, or they're raising in-kind donation, like food stuff or personal hygiene items. We had a gentleman, he's his senior year, he's on a National Honor Society. He went out and he did a fundraiser for small denomination gift cards for like Price Chopper, Stop and Shop, Wegmans, gas things for $5 and $10. And that comes in handy because we can hand them out to a veteran if they need some money for gas and stuff. So, and he's going, hopefully he's getting into the Naval Academy. That's what he was waiting on. So, we wish him a lot of luck to do that. But this has been great, guys. I says, Travis, how long are you going to have me on for? It's going to be about a half an hour. And I haven't stopped talking. I'm going to get out of the house more often here.
Well, we have certainly enjoyed having you on. I'm serious. We'll have to, get out there for yoga or coffee with the veterans. I think it'd be really cool. And Bill, I remember talking to you, and everything was right there. And this amazing thing where, if you needed some food, you could come get some food. I know you've given cars to veterans. Some of them I know personally that you've helped out with cars. Just amazing, and that you got started the way you did. So, Michael, any closing thoughts before we sign off?
Just a couple admin notes for us. The bumper sticker request was filled.
Oh, yes.
And they are available now. So if anybody's looking for one, you just want to message Hellfish Haven or Oscar Mike Radio and let us know your address. We'll get them sent out to you.
Yep. We want to blast through the stigma of people's fear of PTS and asking for help and all that. You're brave, and you've taken what you had, Bill, and turned into something very beautiful. So you're an example to us all. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, it's all about giving back. It's we're too young to retire and sitting in the rocking chair, and get out there and stay active. But thank you guys again for having Project New Hope on here tonight and sharing our mission and what we're doing, and get involved. No matter where your viewers live, get involved. And there's a lot of organizations, not just veterans organizations, that can use the help. And we're role models. We have a lot to give back. We've been all over the world, and we've got some top training and everything else here. And it's don't let it go to waste there. And if you need any assistance, reach out. We got an on-duty case manager, and we got resources, and we have a lot of partner organizations that we can reach out to. And if we're not in your area, it doesn't matter if you're California. Our case manager will be working on that. We'll get you your information. So, don't make that call. You don't have to go through anything alone here. So, we're fellow veterans taking care of our brothers and sisters. That's what it's all about, and their families and their children. So, again, thank you very much for having me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Well, I am joined by Michael Geary, Army veteran. He is the founder and executive director of Hellfish Haven. Our guest tonight is U.S. Air Force veteran Bill Moore. I'm Travis with Oscar Mike Radio. We are WAR. We are resilient. Thank you again. I think next week we're going to have on Gail McCullough with Mass Help. It's going to be great. And we're it for tonight. So thank you very much.
Great. Good night.